with me, don't fuck with me. Since you shit my eyes off to see, I never.
Hey Royals, so I decided to make a video talking about like all the social topics and stuff that's been going on lately. I usually don't make videos like this at all, but it was just that I was sad that like a lot of my generation couldn't see through like these tactics that are actually put kind of like to either distract us or make like unnecessary confrontation about things that's not really important. So it's actually like a couple of stuff I wanted to talk about, and first one that I'm going to discuss is going to be in separate parts, so it's not going to be long, don't worry. The first one that I want to talk about is the Little Mermaid. I don't make videos like this, but I almost didn't make this video because I was just like, I almost like stopped caring. Like I almost didn't care anymore. I almost didn't care anymore, but I feel like it's important to talk about this because it actually like it's a divide on like not just like different races, but also like ages, generations, and it's ridiculous. So with the Little Mermaid, first things first, like I'm really happy for Chloe, I believe her name is. I know them, like I listen to their music, her and her sister. They're very dope. I didn't notice that they were like acting and stuff until I would see them in little stuff about Grownish. I don't watch those programs at all. It's I just feel like it's trendy, like they just have shows like that to be trendy, not anything as far as like representation, because at the end of the day I feel like it's all business, and businesses ride on like the waves and what's ever popular right now, and I feel like those type of shows are what's going on. Also I feel like the Little Mermaid is the same thing. It's trendy now to talk about representation and blah 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 blah, and everyone knows that the black dollar is the most has the most weight on like financial when it comes to like entertainment. I should say entertainment, food, clothing, like we spend the most. And so when it comes to movies, I wasn't shocked that they decided to make the Little Mermaid black. So I'm not, and the crazy part is I'm not mad at the actress, I'm not mad at the director, I'm actually mad at my people. And I mean people, I mean Afro people, who, if you say, oh we the same, I am talking to you. So like I'm sad that that I feel my people take any type of like representation and be like, yes, that's for us, blah blah blah, and put their whole energy behind it. And I feel like we're not differentiating like what is really for us or what is a ploy to just get us. And I'm sad that like you guys don't notice that. So with the Little Mermaid, right off the bat, I have no high expectations. I feel like since Black Panther came out, everyone is trying to get the Black Panther effect because they saw how we showed out. It was like, oh, all they need is some representation and we get their money. Cool, we can make the mermaid black. I'm sure they that it wasn't only because she was black why they picked her. She has a beautiful voice. It's not hard to find talented black singers that can also act. And also they're known to be associated with the Beyonce. So of course they're gonna pick one of those girls. And they picked her because she's the youngest out of her and her sister. So, but I was just saddened that like my people couldn't see that this was just like, they just did this to get y'all money. They don't care about your representation, none of that. Yeah, so I just mentioned that low key feel like this movie is aiming to get a similar turnout like Black Panther. I just said that they want the money. So they are gonna steal your black dollars. Hollywood has hidden motives for everything they do. So basically goes hand in hand with what I said about the Black Panther thing. Also, I feel like this movie is gonna be like how that the Cinderella movie with Brandy was. It's gonna be like mixed of different races. I would be shocked if they actually make it an all black cast, but I highly doubt it. Because I just feel like they're just giving you guys enough to get your money. They ain't trying to like, you know, do the whole Ryan Coogler thing. So we would expect that from director like Ryan Coogler because he's black, but I wouldn't expect that from like a white director. And the thing that that saddens me about my people is that y'all really be looking for these people to like include you in things. Like, why would they include you in things? Like, for what? But for what? They're not going to. They literally don't have to. But since the beginning of time, they will include you, even if it's like little 2 seconds of fame, because they know that's all y'all care about, that's all y'all gonna look for, and put your whole energy behind it, and not even look into like, you know, maybe it's not for us. So so yeah, with the motive, I feel like it's money driven, trendy, and they just want y'all to look stupid, and it's a distraction. I feel like it's a lot of mermaid stuff coming out these days. So probably they have like, I don't know, they have a specific direction that they're going with everything. Because I follow like Sims, if you guys don't worry about Sims, it doesn't matter. But Sims 4, they just came out with like a mermaid segment. And yeah, it's like a lot of stuff in the store, like on clothing and marketing type of items. Yeah, I feel like it's a ploy. It's not really to make y'all feel included at all. Could have made a whole new mermaid movie. Yes, I noticed a lot of people said that, and I completely agree. I said that as soon as I saw that they were making this Little Mermaid with a black girl leading. I feel like they could have just made a whole new movie. Like, I feel like the people who actually grew up while these Disney movies came out, a lot of us are over like the remakes, because we're literally paying to watch the same movie over and over. Like, nobody is original. So that's why I'm just like, why does nobody think that these movies are coming out like because of a motive or something? Like, why isn't anyone coming out with something different? It's the same shit. They make movies based off books, based off somebody's life, or based off movies that already came out. I barely seen anything that wasn't based off of blah 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 blah. And we have way too much of a creative community, creative generation for that not to happen. So I feel like that's pretty stupid. But I feel like they could have made a whole other mermaid movie with black mermaids. That would have been super dope. They didn't have to follow no type of franchise. Like, could have just been plain movie out of nowhere about black mermaids. That's it. That's it. That would have been so cool. Like, that would have been super cool. I would have definitely put my energy into that. But the fact that they just gave y'all, like, they just changed color of the character's skin, even though it's fictional or not, the whole point is they ain't give y'all nothing new. Y'all getting scraps, and they just changing the outside to make y'all feel like, oh yeah, we really did something for you. Just like how a lot of these people think that these new renovations in the community is because, oh, they want the community to look better. Like, it's not for you. They're trying to bring in a whole different set of type of people into the communities and slowly push you out because you're not on that caliber of what they're trying to get. So my people, stop looking at things like people really care about you. Like, literally nobody cares about us. It's all money. That nobody cares about what you want, what you need to see. It's all about money. I feel like they could have, or if they wanted to remake the Little Mermaid, just make her best friend black. Like, she got mad sisters. You could have slipped in 2 or 3 biracial sisters or black sisters in there. She could have had a best friend that was black. Like, they didn't have to make a whole, like, we're making a statement, we're giving you guys something so little girls can feel included, blah 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 blah. It's easy for these little kids now to feel included because they don't know the original story of Little Mermaid. They didn't grow up, like, as soon as Little Mermaid came out, Little Mermaid 2 came out. Like, I've been over the remakes. I did not watch the Aladdin remake because it's just erasing like what I grew up with. Because when you grow up watching certain things, it kind of molds you into who you became. And I don't remember being a little girl saying, "Oh my gosh, I wish the mermaid looked like me." I was literally just focused on the stories. That's why, like, my favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast, and I didn't care that Belle was white. She was French. I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, oh my gosh, like, even though the Beast is so mean, like, because she's sweet, he fell in love with her, blah blah blah. Like, and then after that, it's like Pocahontas. I love Mulan. Like, I rarely looked at the color of the skin of these cartoons. Is because from day one, like, my mom, like, I had my own representation because of my mom. She never taught me to look through media, or like, oh, if you don't see yourself represented in the media, blah, blah, blah. Like, she never taught me to look to get my confidence from TV, which is pretty stupid if you think about it. She always showed me to get my confidence from, like, who came before me, grandmothers, aunts, what my family does. Always made sure, like, she does my hair all the time, so I feel nice and pretty and put together. She would get me, like, things that I interact with every day. That's where the representation was. So because I played dolls often, she would get me black dolls. I had a few white dolls, but my first dolls were black. My first baby dolls were black. My scene dolls, she got me the black one. With Bratz, she got me the black ones first, and then throughout the times I got the other ones. But you control what representation your child needs. People keep looking for singers and movies and actors to show representation for their children. You have to put that in them and instill that in them yourself. Stop looking at media and people who's making money off of your psyche and your self-esteem. That's so stupid. Like, as long as I've been living, like, I don't remember looking at TV for representation. When I saw the Cinderella movie with Brandy, I didn't know Brandy was a big star until later. It was just, it was nice to see, like, yeah, like, she's beautiful, like, she's brown like me or whatever. But I never thought, oh, maybe I can be a princess too, or blah blah blah. It was just nice to see. And then I already knew Whitney Houston. Like, just seeing her, like, the icon, like, really belting out the words impossible, like, was so dope. But yeah, it feeds black women's egos. Okay, so the next point I said that this movie is just to feed black women's egos. I feel like the feminist movement, I feel like, is mixing with the LGBT community. I say that because like I feel like those are the easiest stuff to like campaign on. So like I feel like it's a trend now to also have representation for women as far as like sizes, shape, colors. Some people need that, especially in this day of like social media. A lot of women feel like they need representation in these things. I feel like you wouldn't need representation if you got out more and met like-minded women. But I feel like a lot of these movies that come out now is geared towards the women, and the women are given powerful roles because a lot of women feel suppressed and I guess beaten down by men. I guess I don't know. But I just can't relate. I always should say this in front of my videos. I'm different. I I try my best not to fall into the trends of today. I feel like when you hear over and over that women are suppressed by men, you really feel like you are. It'd be like little things. You're like, oh my God, I'm probably am suppressed by men, or probably my voice isn't heard or whatever. I don't feel that way all the time, especially like in my culture. Like I'm Caribbean, so a lot of people would look at my culture and say that the women are oppressed in that culture because we're automatically put in a box as being cookers, cleaners, or whatever. Yeah, my family, a lot of women cook because they love to cook. In my culture, I should say, a lot of women just cook because they love to cook. They feel good cooking for their man. And then no lie, like men do get comfortable and they expect it all the time, which lacks the appreciation. But at the end of the day, the Caribbean women or women, a lot of women in general that I know actually do run things, but they don't say it because like the male ego is set up differently. And I guess it go hand in hand, like they respect their husbands and they admire them, so they wouldn't like crush their ego, because if a man's ego is crushed, he can't be a provider, he can't be a protector, and etc. So back towards what I'm saying, like this is geared towards women. I feel like the trends of today are pushing women, say it bluntly, they want women to be like, you don't need men. This is like, it's all about women, and women are strong and powerful. Like we know that, like that's a given. And I don't feel like all the TV in the world or all the magazines in the world or whatever is gonna magically make all the women in the world feel like they're extremely powerful, because at the same time, while they're pushing these messages, because they're saying that they want women to know that they're strong and they don't need someone to always save them, it's a given. A lot of us are put in situations where a man did not save us. But at the end of the day, it don't mean that you don't need a man or you don't want a man or that men are completely useless. You just don't bump into the ones that you're like, that make you say like, I appreciate men. But it's easy to market to women in general. Like we shop the most. We need like the most entertainment as far as like magazines, TV. I'm pretty sure women are the ones who subscribe to like all of the stuff that's going on like YouTube or Netflix or Hulu. I feel like women probably have the most type of subscriptions, also with like magazines, monthly boxes. Women spend money, so why not market to them? Like duh, it's a no-brainer. That's who spends the most money. So we're gonna make women, everything that we're gonna put out is gonna make women feel like, yeah, don't let a man tell you what to do with your money. If you want to do this, you want to do this. Like, but yeah, I feel like with stuff like that also, it makes women's character weaker, as far as like a lot of women depend on watching these type of things or listening to type of music just to get a little boost of confidence or a little insight of their esteem, or get a higher self-esteem. And back in the days, women didn't have that. You had to literally go through shit to get your own confidence and self-esteem. But I feel like the markets of today kind of weakens like characteristics in women in the generation. Like it makes you dependent on seeing representation so badly that any little type of representation is taken. My next point, colorism topics are becoming nitpicky. So I feel like since a lot of the outside people see that colorism is becoming, that they see how we react to colorism, and I feel like we react to colorism because of people of other races, because of like ways how we're either treated, or we see that on TV or magazines or posters that women of other races are being pushed more than black women. And I always say this to all like my Afro people and all my people, like if you don't like something, yeah, we get sweepers in the hood, y'all. Yeah, I always tell like black women that just because you don't see representation don't mean that there ain't someone out there trying to like make it a thing. Or if you don't like something that's happening, switch it. stop giving attention to all of this stuff, because some people would just do colorist things because they know they're going to be talked about, and there's going to be people who's going to be on their side or don't feel no type of way towards it anyways, and they're going to get followings regardless. So I feel, so when I say that the colorism thing's becoming nitpicky, like every single topic that comes out about colorism, everyone is either ready to cancel, which it's up to you if you want to cancel, but it's also up to you to find a discernment in, like, is this real or is this fake? Is this just a ploy, or is this really an issue? And I feel like if it's a personal issue, it's not hurting your pockets, it's not hurting your family, why do you care? And most of this colorism things comes from like celebrities and people who's not in your circle, people who you're not interacting with every day. Like I don't care. Like if they remade a Little Mermaid and they chose Ariana Grande, like I would have been happy for Ariana Grande. Like I don't care. Like I'm different because I wasn't raised to look to media for self-esteem and reassurance. Like I have to find that within myself and within my community. That's why a lot of people build little communities. But I feel like y'all are letting these people play on our problems. And as I get older, I understand why a lot of people say whatever problems we have within the community, keep it within the community, because when people on the outside are seeing this, they're making it more of a problem, an unnecessary problem that we probably are not. Like I know it's a lot of people who are friends, they'll be like, oh, call each other red bone, yellow bone, dark skin, chocolate, blah blah blah. We don't care, but the moment that like somebody else says it, we're like, oh no, that's colorist. And I understand, like, yeah, because we're black or whatever, it's okay, but it's like if somebody else say it, I'm not saying like you can't be mad or whatever, but don't give it attention. Like they're not worth it. Like even if they say, oh, they only want light-skinned women around them, that's their business. It's whoever's in that circle or those events that that's happening to, or they're witnessing, that is their problem at that moment. All the other people around the world, you weren't there, you don't know, like that person didn't personally bother you. I don't care who don't like dark-skinned women. It's a lot of us out here, and there's people who love us, and our family loves us no matter what. Why do you care? I don't want this video to be too long. Another thing is clout to save for later. Okay, so I see this so many times that a lot of like white people or other race of people get behind causes. If it's not, let's just talk about color for right now. So they get behind stuff that have to do with color or women issues, right? They're big supporters. They put up 1 or 2 tweets, and then you hear like 3 years later, oh, like so and so was in like this situation, and they're like, oh, I can't be colorist because I participated in this movie and I'm best friends with blah blah blah, and I've always supported blah 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 when they were in this movie. So I feel like I don't trust Disney, period, point blank. So because I actually research stuff and I learned stuff throughout the times, so I don't trust Disney. That's for one. Number 2, with all of this stuff going around, that like you hear these people who's been in business for years and they're in these scandals that happened years ago, or like now people are exposing them for stuff that happened years ago. I feel like what a lot of celebrities are doing now is like damage control and collecting their clout. So later it will be like, oh no, like, you know, they've been supportive of this and that, like a Rachel Dolezal. She's perpetrating a fraud basically, but she's getting a pass because what my people like to do is be like, oh, you're invited to the barbecue just because you did one thing for the community or because you put out one tweet. Like I hate that my people keep doing that. I'm gonna make a separate video of that because it's getting long. But yeah, any little thing where y'all feel like one person is talking up for you, like they get access to your whole life, your like everything, like your pockets, everything, and that's how we get in trouble as a community, and that's how we're failing as a community, and we would never progress because of people like that in our community that just be open the gate after we be like, yo, don't open the gate if it's not the real thing, and they just open the gate for anybody, and that shit is pretty annoying. I'm not going to watch this movie. I didn't watch Aladdin, like I said. I doubt I'm gonna see Lion King. I'm kind of over the remakes, so I don't want it to erase my childhood in a way, because like I said, certain things either you experience, you watch or witness, it molds you into who you are today. And I see like the business ploy out of all of this. Everyone wants the Black Panther reaction. They're not gonna get me with that, so I'm not gonna watch this. Also, people are always talking about like representation or whatever, but I rarely see representation for Black men and boys. I hardly ever see Black men and boys put into a light like how they're trying to do for Black women, unless like the Black boy is gay or the Black man is gay. To be honest with you, I don't see straight Black men get put into positive lights or any representation really all the time. It's always like the same stereotypical stuff, the same thing that a lot of us women complain about, that we're tired of seeing like the woman as a crier or a beggar in a movie. The same thing that it depicts, like that there's barely any black men that actually do right or actually love like black women. I don't really see original movies like that. It would either be based off books, but I don't see any original movies with that narrative at all. But yeah, no one's crying out that men are not getting any representation. You hardly ever see that unless they're gay. Yeah, unless they're gay or disabled, or they have like any like mental health crisis. You never really see that. So I feel like if you're gonna be screaming about representation, scream about representation for everybody in our community. That's just how I feel. So that's it for this part of the video. The next part I'm going to talk about is, the next thing I'm going to talk about is Juvia's place. See you guys in that video.